Awesome. Welcome, world, to the end of day one of competition of the Rebelle Rally for the 6th year running. We've seen a lot of teams come back in. We've seen them throughout the day. Rachelle and I have been making notes all day. For those of you just tuning in, my name is Matthew Johnson. My co-host, Rachelle Croft, has competed in this event in the past, and it's so cool to hear some of her stories about things that are likely happening with the teams.
Absolutely. Thanks, Matthew. It's been a really fun day. We heard it was an amazing course. We've got some mixed reviews from beginner and expert competitors, but this course today was designed to be a lot of fun. It was gorgeous. There was a crater involved. There was all kinds of terrain. It was a good one.
The lunar crater. I've got a special story about that later.
I can't wait to
I'm
hear
going to let it sit for a minute.
Awesome. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I got to say I had a little FOMO. Just a little bit.
Yeah, not
watching
being
all
out
those
there.
teams. Yeah, watching
Sure.
all those teams out there, getting their checkpoints. They were really focused this morning. You walked into the tent and it was all business. So it was really fun to watch those teams out there. They are still trickling in, as you can see. I think we still have quite a few teams out on course. There you go. There's a shot of all the vehicles that have made it back. Cars are getting a little dirtier. It's looking good.
You know what I'm noticing sitting out here in Twin Springs Ranch, Nevada, is when we say the live show is going to go live, somehow that cues the wind to just pick it up. And last night it cued the rain as well, and it's just given us a fun time out here. So if you are new to following the Rebelle, we are going to catch you right up in this show. We're not only going to catch you up, we're going to tell you everything you need to know. We're going to tell you about some teams. We've got a couple of interviews planned in this show, and we've got just random tidbits we've collected from chatting with the different teams throughout the day and as they've been arriving back here to Base Camp 1.
Absolutely. We've also got some results. I don't know if they're final results, as they were still tallying the on-time enduro results today.
I think they've told me it's the results as of like 5:30 p.m. tonight, so they're probably 95% accurate. You get the point. You can get the results easier than us, actually, as you go online and follow along with the rally. But what we're going to do by showing you the results as they stand is give you a little bit of a background information about each of the teams and where we see maybe surprises in the list of results or anything like that.
Absolutely. We'll see if any of those predictions were correct.
Now, we also have some tracker info, right?
I believe we do. So on the screen there shortly, we went today, found a little service, and we're able to download some of the tracking footage. This is what you see on the YB Races app.
We're going to, actually, I'm holding the course description. We're going to read that to them first, and then we'll watch the teams wiggle their way through the description of course number 1.
Sounds good.
Okay, day 1 of competition. We call it stage 1 as well. The first day of competition is shaped like a bow tie. There are 3 scoring groups, A, B, and C, and this is about how they don't follow each other because they never know which scoring group another team is in. The west loop starts with a fun double track into a stunning valley that turns into mountain range that has an X checkpoint options that require technical, low-range driving. This sort of stuff has been requested by a lot of the teams, like more technical driving, and Emily really gave it to them today. We're going to talk more about that later. There are many road and trail options in every direction, so this will force teams to make smart decisions and ensure they stay on heading. The East Loop begins with teams using their compasses to get them to the start of the on-time enduro. This fun, long enduro will have 4 timing controls. As they climb into Hanging Valley with impressive vistas, the timing ends and they turn back to map and compass challenges. They will collect CPs, checkpoints, in the area of the Lunar Crater National Natural Landmark. Each loop, by the way, time limit of 5 hours. So after you go hard as you can and as focused as you can for 5 hours in one set of checkpoints, you drive an hour to the other set of checkpoints and get down to business another 5 hours there. For seasoned Rebelles, this is a great day to settle in, remember some key lessons, and appreciate the landscape. For new Rebelles, this is a challenging day 1, and some may find it easier, but some will be hit in the face with important mistakes. I added the hit in the face part there. This loop route with competitors returning to Base Camp 1 here. We're still at the first base camp overnight. Tomorrow we're going to be moving. This area we're in is classic mid-Nevada high desert mountains with trees and pinyon pines and eroded cliff features. The East Loop will show teams the vast distances of Nevada valleys bordered by high alpine peaks. The lunar crater landmark is a volcanic area which has resulted in layers of colors and geothermal activity. Day 1 definitely has a bit of everything. And today was Map and Compass Challenge and an on-time enduro.
That's a lot for day 1. I was just listening to you read that, and I'm thinking as a competitor what our strategy would be for day 1. And I think, man, early in the morning, depending on your start time, you need to figure out your on-time enduro speeds for the day and what time you need to be hitting those points. You also only have 5 hours for each loop, which means you're hustling all day.
And that really would factor in if you knew you had 5 hours and you got down there and you're like, am I going to commit to the X checkpoints route, or am I going to take the already a challenging route and just give up a few points to ensure that I can complete the long, it's a big day.
Yeah.
So you want to know you can get all of the basic points of the day.
Absolutely. All right. I think we've got an example coming up on screen of the trackers and all the ladies making their way through the course today.
All right, the yellow brick tracking system powered by Iridium you're seeing on the course. As you watch the number of your favorite team wiggling around, on the right side you can see a counter-rotating loop of vehicles as they're on the east and north loop. And then the left side of the screen, the bottom left side of the screen, you see the numbers really close together because those are the tight technical stages that we've been talking about that had that X route option.
Absolutely. You see all those little dots on there are all the CPs that they can hit on their way.
And you can zoom into that on the YB Races app and click on the dot, and it'll give you the information about that dot, if it's a black diamond checkpoint, a blue checkpoint, or whatever. In fact, YB Races shows you more information than we have in the field as well. Not only more than the competitors have, but more than we have.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. All right, man, those girls are coming in hot. They're still lined up out on that finish line.
The sun is setting soon, and some teams that left the line late this morning, if they weren't on the hurry up, and some of the teams that left late this morning, I don't say late, but left at their scheduled time, which was at the back of the pack, if they didn't really have the hurry up on all day, then they're going to be showing up in the dark this evening. It's just a long day. It's a long day 1, and it really does bring everyone present to the challenges ahead here.
Absolutely. They all seem to be in pretty good spirits there. They're all waving out the car, having a good time.
There's a couple of our crew cruising in. There's Josh. We saw him at checkpoint 1 yesterday on the prologue. And then to Josh's left, as his Subaru cruises down, you can see the lineup of cars waiting to go under the finishing arch.
Yeah, so this is really cool. So when the ladies come in from a day on the course, they come into base camp there, they line up, they click their tracker into base camp, signaling they're there. That is basically a free 10 points. You want to be sure to get those points as long as you got back within that allotted 10-hour time. They then go to the fuel truck.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah,
there,
exactly.
yep.
Full fuel truck.
Yep. You go to the fuel truck, they refuel. Sometimes you'll drop the navigator off to unpack and start setting up your tent. Although tonight nobody had to pack up because we're here one more night.
Yeah, their tents are still sitting there if they haven't blown over today.
Yeah.
But that I just want to bring into focus, that fuel truck and the charging rig, the renewable innovations sitting beside it, that's what allows us to be in such a remote area running an event like this. If we didn't have remote fuel stations, we couldn't be where we are up here in Twin Springs Ranch, Nevada.
Absolutely right. All right, she's all smiles. That's a good sign. It'll be fun. I can't wait to get out there. Emily said there were some really good stories from today, and we can't wait to share them with you. But so far, I think everybody's in pretty good spirits. This was a really good day 1.
I'll say it's been a big challenge. I saw a lot of smiles out there. The seasoned competitors all came back with excited reports about the driving, really loved the technical driving. Some of the rookies were happy this morning. That was before they went down to the technical driving part, so we'll see how they've ended up this afternoon. I've heard about some crossovers had some challenging times up north as well.
I did. I heard there was a Max Trax bridge involved today.
Yeah.
For those crossovers.
Was it 10 sets of Max Trax?
I think so. I think that's a record.
If you happen to see the live hit we did from course today that I did with the crew with Caleb, Colin, and Adam up on course today, we heard briefly about Verena. We talked to Verena in 206 in the Kia, and she had been stuck in some kind of deep sand, and Rachel Ridenauer and Christy Levy pulled her out. And then later I heard that, 6 or 7 other crossovers were in that same spot, and many of them, it was a wash. Basically, it was a wash. It was kind of deep.
Yep, got ate up.
Yeah, and so there came the teamwork, and a couple Jeeps hung out there, and they laid out a bunch of max tracks and helped each other get going again.
Oh, that's awesome. I love to hear those stories. That's when it really clicks on day one. You're already finding yourself in those technical situations, problem solving, looking for help, and that's really what the Rebelle Rally is all about.
I remember that from competing, and sometimes if I knew I was having a good stage and someone was stuck in the snow or whatever, if I knew I had the time to give, I'd stop and let them grab a tow rope on the back of my car because I knew they might be the ones pulling me out.
That is true. It always comes back around.
It does come back around.
It's a good dose of karma, especially when you get to Glamis on day 7. You want all the karma you can get.
You do, for sure. There's 110. Is that Nina and Tara Lynn right there?
Nope, they're already in base camp. They are team 129.
Oh, got it. This is Misplaced Mojito. Team number 110. Kathy is
awesome. So on the course today, also for day 1, teams had to choose if they were going to do the X route.
Yeah.
And that was, I thought, pretty aggressive for day 1, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that it's a whole route. It's not just like, oh, here's an odd X checkpoint. It was like, no, here's some gnarly driving, and if you sign up for it, you got to stay on it.
You have to stay on it. And you see in that tracker, the teams are constantly moving, usually in one circular direction, and that is done for safety reasons, obviously. You got those tight tracks, so teams can't back in, go back down the hill and run into each other.
Yeah, yes, tight area out there. So let's just breeze by the competition format again and make sure everyone watching, if you've just tuned in, has a bit of structure around understanding what we're doing out here in Nevada. I think we have a slide for that coming up.
Absolutely. So here you have enduro challenges. The ladies had an on-time enduro today. That is a traditional rally roadbook. They received that in the morning with their CPs. There are assigned speeds to each of those times, and also with about 3 or 4 timing controls. So they need to hit those timing controls. Let's say at kilometer 10.5, you need to hit that at 1 minute 30 seconds. And if you're within that 5-second window, you get full 5 points.
And if you're outside that window, you still get points. And if you're way outside the window, you do not get points.
You do not get points.
And when you see in the description there, traditional rally road book, that means it has a tulip and a distance and a notation by it. It tells you average speed that you need to be carrying through there. And that allows your navigator to do some math there. All right, and then we're moving on from the enduros. We've got the on-time and the on-route enduros. Most of the rally is map and compass, actually. We're dealing with some gale force wind here, just building.
Yeah, bear with us.
You've got your green, your blue, your black diamond checkpoints. Greens are worth the most, but they're the easiest to get. They're manned. There's a big flag. It's easier to find. It keeps everybody on course and moving down the course. The blues are worth fewer points, and they're a little harder to find. Then our black diamonds are more difficult to find and worth even fewer points. Thanks, boys. Thanks for that, team. We were getting blinded by the light here now that the sun's gone down.
Absolutely. So also with that map and compass challenge, so what happens, there's no GPS in this rally, as you know. There's no iPhones. They turned those in yesterday. So they're only using headings and distance, which many of them, that means you reset your odometer or you reset your rally computer at the beginning of base camp or at checkpoints or at a turn to get you down the road until your next heading or your next road. And you kind of just do that piggyback effect all the way to your CPs. You're studying topography on the maps to make sure that the features that you are seeing out your window are matching what's on your map. There's a lot involved. It's a lot of concentration from those navigators.
For folks that were really paying attention to that last slide about our different checkpoints, we talked about the scale of the maps. 1 to 50,000, 1 to 100,000, 1 to 200,000. Which one of those is harder, and what's the difference, essentially?
Yeah, I always thought the 200,000 was hardest. It's just, man, a bigger landscape. It's harder to really pinpoint the exact features.
So you could imagine it as a picture just taken from higher up in the sky, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Those 100,000 maps to scale are what I believe we commonly used. They show some pretty good features, and then your 50,000 maps is what you'll normally find on dune days in Glamis or
on
Big
dune
Dune.
Days. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Oh, there's Karen. We're seeing Karen and Dana. They're 100% Rebelles. They've been here every year. They are the mom's team, and then the daughter's team is here as well. Both of their daughters also here competing with each other.
Absolutely. All right. So today, this was the total number of checkpoints that these ladies had to find. This is the 4x4 class. They had 4 greens, 13 blues, and 9 blacks. Total of 275 kilometers to go. Now that doesn't include if someone went off track. For the X-Cross, you see there we have 4 greens, 10 blues, and 9 black diamonds. Total of 275 kilometers as well. And just a reminder, they only had 5 hours for each loop to complete those checkpoints, which is why you're still seeing some cars trickle in here. All right, so here we are at the lineup. We've got a crossover there.
That's one of our PHEV Mitsubishis, has some battery juice, and that's one of our Electrified division cars that can come back by here, by camp, and get electric charge or gasoline.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the PHEV vehicles have a small gas tank.
Absolutely.
So they'll come by and fuel up midday. We've mentioned this before, the electric cars or the hybrid vehicles that come back for that break to get a little bit of extra juice here or fuel. Have some time allowed in their day to do that, but they're not allowed to really benefit from it by having extra map reading time.
No, so we saw that with Emmy and Rebecca. I was following them until about 12:30 today, and then they had to duck out on course, come back to base camp and charge for however long they think they need to charge for. They're given an hour and a half, but they have to be out of the car without their maps and tools, just standing around while that car charges, so that they are not given any more advantage than any of the other teams.
We mentioned this briefly in as well. If you've been paying attention, so forgive me if I'm a repeater here, but Chrissy and Emily and Chris and Jimmy and the team, literally one of their important brand pieces for putting together the Rebelle Rally is fairness. And you're not going to find repeat Rebelles getting some kind of nod to like, oh, you know the deal. No, that doesn't happen. In fact, it doesn't matter if you're related to any of them or not. You're not getting a favor. Everyone gets the same amount of information, and we keep the playing field as absolutely level as possible.
Absolutely. They work really hard on that. That was one of their main goals, and it is in their mission statement, I believe, as well, as they set up this rally. It is always a very fair rally. And I, as a competitor, really appreciate that, because I always felt that it was very fair. If anybody had an inquiry, you can go to Chrissy at the end of your day, or when you get the scores, and ask for an inquiry on, hey, why I thought I had more points here, why didn't I? And she will pull up the rule book.
I'm positive I got this black diamond checkpoint. I'm positive I got it. Why don't you have it?
Absolutely. And even today, Emily, as we were chatting with one of the teams, came up and they're like, hey, that time was really tight to get back to base camp. By the time I got CP19, and Emily looked at her and said, let's go look at that and let's make sure that was correct. So they work really hard at keeping that competition fair.
A lot of moving pieces there. There we go. That 69 Ford Bronco looking good. Made it through day one. Some technical driving. That thing was probably the beast down there on the technical stage.
Oh, absolutely. And that is our only designation, I believe, in the 4030 designation. A car that is over 40 years old. And these ladies competed last year, and here they are back for more. I love that they came back.
I do too. I hope we get some more 4030 vehicles. We're starting to see more in that class in Baja and some off-road racing. And I gotta admit, the Rebelle Rally is more gentle on your vehicle than trying to do the Baja in one. So if you got a beautiful 4030 qualified vehicle there, bring it out here, run it with us, do some navigation.
That's a good proving ground, absolutely, as they're in these cars for 8 days. So they have, that 4030 class almost has another challenge, almost like the EVs, in that they need to make sure those cars are mechanically sound. So they may need to know a little bit more about mechanics when they run the Rebelle for 8 days.
This is a great point. When they're packaging their spares to come here for the week, like they've probably got to do a more in-depth kind of plan strategy for not just assuming the vehicle's pretty new and going to make it through.
Absolutely. All right, you got our teams on there. Look at that good Nevada dust out there. We've talked to a lot of teams today who just love the scenery. They love the course, and we've got a video to show you here that gives you a little taste of Nevada with what these Rebelles were in today. All right, we are back here at stage 1 finish line of the first official scoring day of the Rebelle Rally. My name is Rachelle Croft, one of your co-hosts, and I am sitting here with a very good team, Nina Barlow and Tara Lynn. Welcome, guys.
Thanks. God beer, of course.
How did it go out there today?
Oh my gosh, we had a blast. Emily usually gives us the speech every year about the day one's the easiest and it's going to get harder. She didn't give us that speech this year.
This morning you're like, where's the easy speech, Emily?
It was fun. We had some more technical terrain and just amazing views. And there's nobody out here. It was great.
That's amazing. How about for you, Tara Lynn?
Yeah, it was a really fun day. It was a unique day. A lot of views, and we were first off the line, so we didn't have any cars in front of us and no dust in our face, so we got all the good sights.
That's the best feeling ever when you're out there, one of those first teams. It's great. So Nina, I know today you're very used to all this off-road driving, so when you heard Emily talk about the technical part of this, were you just like, oh yeah, sign me up?
Yeah, she's been promising or threatening, depending on how you look at it, for a while, and she came through today. It wasn't just technical; it was stunningly gorgeous up there too. Every crest of the hill was a big reveal of views, and it's hard to. You're supposed to be staying on your pace and doing your navigating, and the views are very, very distracting.
That's awesome. It sounds like a good problem. So, how many years? I know. How many years have you competed, Nina? And Tara Lynn, how many years have you competed?
So it's actually it's 5 years for me.
Okay.
I sat out 2019 as a competitor. I didn't compete 2019, so this is my 5th year competing.
Same. I missed the first year, 2016, and I've been here every year since. So this is my 5th year as well.
Awesome. And this is the first year you two have teamed up together. And I know a lot of that is Kaylee, your teammate, had a baby, correct?
Yes. Kaylee had a baby, so she's home with little RJ, and then Nina's usual partner, Chris, is in France this year, so it worked out where we could get together.
That's awesome. Well, I know we're all very excited to watch you two, to be one of the top teams. I've been telling everybody to look out and keep an eye close on Team 129 on that tracker.
Awesome, thanks.
Absolutely. What do you guys think about the year so far? What are your challenges? Are you guys sticking with driver navigator roles? Or are you going to be switching?
So that's actually really fun for me because historically I'm 99.9% driver.
Yeah.
And I do love the navigating, but so we've already done a little bit of trading off, when in practice and on the prologue and stuff like that. And so that's fun because we can both drive, we can both navigate, but she is definitely the lead on the navigating. Her plotting is just fast, and
Yeah, absolutely. How was that first timed enduro for you today?
I think we did well. Yeah, Nina's math was right on. We checked at each waypoint that we were on time, and we haven't got the scores back, so we're hoping.
Awesome. And you two went for the X checkpoints today, correct?
We did, especially when we heard that there was going to be the technical driving, and we're like, well, we got to see this for ourselves. So.
I figured if anybody was going to go for that, it was going to be you guys. I think we actually have some B-roll of you ladies out on the course today, or just that X zone.
Wow.
Does any of that look familiar today?
Yes, very much.
Awesome.
We didn't see it from that angle, but
Yeah. That's a pretty good angle. Awesome. Did you guys see the crater today?
Yes, we did. Yes, she was looking down when we popped up to the rim, and I came in kind of hot and stopped right at the top, and she was like, whoa, turn.
Awesome. I heard they put a checkpoint up there. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that a black?
We had a blue up there.
A blue.
Yeah.
Okay. Emily wants you to see those views.
Yes. Yeah. It's always a reward there, so.
Awesome. All right. Well, there's your
There's
little
our other
Jeep.
4xe. Yeah,
Awesome. Did you guys have to come into base camp at all today?
We did not. We were going to watch our range because we knew we were going to push it pretty hard, but the Jeep did great. We did not come in for gas or charging today, and we finished with a quarter tank, more than a quarter tank of gas. So
Awesome. So today, let's see, you got Stone and Lynn out there on the B-roll, clicking trackers, having a good time. It's just like riding a bike now.
yeah.
What was the best part of your day today?
I know.
Oh, she's got it.
Okay, all right. So we pushed all day to keep pace, and we were really worried about making CP19. At the end of the day, it had a really early closing time. And so just when we realized, we got 16, 17, 18, we're going to make it, I don't know, it kind of put me on a little high, like, yes, we did it.
That is an awesome feeling.
And she might disagree, but I think, we had one 6X early in the day that, everything we were just bam, bam, bam. And this one we had to turn around and go back, reevaluate, from our, we didn't find it right away. And so we had to kind of backtrack, how it goes.
Yep.
And we worked through that, and found it and moved on. And, and it was a great test for, like, what our different panic buttons are.
Yes. Do you guys have a code word?
Yeah. Yes, but we can't tell it on air.
I know. You'd have to kill us if you told us. I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, ladies. I so appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
Thanks, Rachelle. Thanks.
We are
for
all
being out
very excited to watch you two out there. I as well, and I wish you all the best. I hope you just have a great rally.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
Absolutely.
Rock on,
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, nicely done.
Pavement is optional. Total Chaos equipment is built for travel. Introducing our newest project vehicle, Seabiscuit, a Lexus GX 460. It combines luxury interior with performance off-road components. It's outfitted with our newest suspension package, designed specifically for KDSS models. Explore more.
This place tells a story through the color and through these formations that are completely unexpected. I started racing almost 2 decades ago, and the color of the desert Southwest is like nowhere else I've seen. It's so unbelievable. It's unforgettable.
Get lost without getting lost. When your adventure takes you off the beaten path, Iridium is there. Whether you're camping in the woods, hiking a mountain, or sailing the ocean, Iridium satellite communicators keep you connected regardless of weather conditions, terrain, or location. Built to be portable, rugged, and easy to use, Iridium and Iridium connected devices deliver peace of mind for you and your loved ones through real-time two-way voice calling, text messaging, photo sharing, social media, GPS, weather monitoring, and SOS, even in the most remote locations. Choose from a selection of products ranging from satellite phones to Bluetooth-enabled hotspots made by the brands you trust to call home, share the moment, or get help when needed. So, get out, take a hike, seize the day, but stay connected. Iridium, your world, our network.
Hi, I'm Justin from Wagan Tech, a company that's been in the Bay Area of California for over 37 years. As an automotive lifestyle company, we provide products that give you power, comfort, and convenience for the road ahead. Power means having a hot cup of coffee no matter where you are. Comfort is enjoying your trip. Convenience is having the tools you need when you need it. With Wagan Tech, you'll always be road ready.
Your ears hear myriad things, but no has never been one of them. Accordingly, when many voices told you it could not possibly be done, a beautiful torrent of passion that made room for every woman existing before you, who had been quieted into submission to step in and take her place. Simultaneously, it raised up the women around you into doers, not just dreamers. You laid a foundation for community that will outlast anything we thought previously important and be the thing by which all others are measured. Prophetically, you saw the way before anyone else dared to believe. But a few who knew your courage understood that your determination would not be interrupted. You navigated by faith and unselfishly transported us along on the journey. When someone loves you this way, It alters you and realigns your soul and puts it back to right what was laid out when the first bit of you sparked into existence. And you truly remember what it means to breathe.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 6th edition of the Rebelle Rally. We are at stage 1 at the finish line, but base camp 1, the end of the first official scoring day. It was a doozy.
It was a doozy. You know, just to speak to the video we just finished there, I miss Katie. I love having Katie creative ideas flowing around out here and just hearing her read the poem there. We miss you, Katie, and we hope you're watching.
There's the Hoehns here. A few more cars coming in the start line. I always call them Mama Hoehn. They take very good care of you out on course.
We all call her Mama Hoehn.
It's so good.
Again, 100% Rebelle. Been here every year.
Absolutely.
That's
all right. I think we may have some standings for today. I know we're all eager to see how the day's shaken out. So let's bring up the 4x4 standings and see if our predictions have been right so far, Matt.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, first place, we've got Nina Barlow, Tara Lynn, 199 points, just above Emmy and Rebecca Donaghy. That's only a 5-minute difference between 1 and 2. Third, Shelby Hall. Then you got the Benzies in fourth, Sedona and Lynn from Team Wild Grace in the Nissan Frontier, 184. As you can read down that list, you see those point margins are not that far, and this is only day 1. So you can only imagine the next 7 days, how tight. I think it's going to be a very tight rally.
There are 190 checkpoints. That's a lot of driving around deserts, and there's a lot of opportunities to make up points, catch up, and everyone's going to have like a not so perfect day. Some of the ones you might be looking at on the screen didn't have the day they wanted, but they still landed in the top 10.
Absolutely. I love seeing some others up there. We've got Susan Piper up there in 7th. You've got a rookie team in 7th, which is awesome to see. That is hard to do as a full-on rookie team on your first day.
Especially a day like today, that's tough.
Yeah, they're going to be ones to watch for sure. You've got Dana and Karen, the Mama Hoehns, at 10th. Yeah, they're in the top 10, day 1.
So we just showed Karen, Mama Hoehn there. She and Dana love to laugh about the first day of the event, they have a top 10 placement. And then what do they say? What happens throughout the rally?
And then they usually fall off and they just have a good time.
Sink and sink and sink and then just get resigned to having a good time. We're hoping to encourage them to keep competing and keep it up on the leaderboard there.
It's great to see them out there. All right, let's bring up those X-Cross standings and see where they are sitting today. I have not seen where those shook out to.
Me either.
Oh, okay. You've got Melissa Fisher in the Ford Bronco.
No massive surprise there. Melissa and Cora have been together in the four-wheel drive class for several years. And the fact that they'd be leading X-Cross today, no big surprise, like I said, in that Ford Bronco Sport, which a Ford Bronco Sport won X-Cross last year.
Absolutely. You've got, let's see, in third, Caitlin.
Oh, are we looking at a tie? We're looking at first. There's a tie for first.
There's a tie for first.
Between Melissa,
You're
Cora,
right.
and then Verena and Tana in the Kia Sorento PHEV. I caught up with Verena briefly in the midday live piece, and she was telling me about how she had been stuck and already, and I'm like, you've been stuck what on this part of the course? Because I didn't know that part of the course was that challenging.
Gotcha.
When we were talked about all the crossovers getting stuck and lining up the max tracks.
Yes.
Well, Verena and Tana did that by themselves, and then Rachel Rodnauer and Christy pulled them out with their Jeep.
Gotcha.
Looking down the list though, Carrie and Laura in this Subaru, yes, they told me they also got stuck and they were really proud of using their max tracks.
Sabrina and Alyssa coming up, bringing up the rear with the Kia.
They told me they had a good day. They said they weren't super stoked about their performance today. Everybody has that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the
Especially
driving.
day one.
Sometimes it's the navigation. Sometimes it's we both thought it was that way, and then we were both wrong, it turns out.
Yeah, I know a lot of those technical roads in there, you really needed to get out and use your compass to make sure those roads were going the direct heading you needed it to go.
Now, when you say, let's look at this one more second because I feel like this is going to disappear. So we've got Abigail and Beth there in the Porsche Cayenne S. They are the rookies, also there in the top 10. Obviously, there's only 10 X-Cross vehicles, actually. And then Emily and Mercedes in the electric Volkswagen. I'm not sure they're back to camp, honestly. They came back to charge not a long time ago.
No, I think they just left again, so they might have a pretty late night.
Yeah, hopefully. And we do have a bracket for the end of the night where teams have to come back. We're not going to leave anybody out there. They're essentially forced to get back here, leave their car, and come eat a warm dinner and have some community with the other Rebels.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were talking today. I drove the live team out to upload this episode. So we had to drive about a 45-minute drive to find some data there.
Right.
And on the way, I was looking at all the features, and it was, all the Rebelle feels are coming back, and they were asking me about, well, don't you get bored? Don't you listen to music? And we get that question a lot, but honestly, you're so busy all day that you don't have time to turn on music or even think about it. We always waited till the very last, coming back to base camp. We'd hit that last checkpoint. We saw base camp. Then you could turn your brain off a little bit.
Okay, got it. Makes sense to me. I love to have music playing all the time, but I do notice if I'm really trying to focus, it's another distraction. So if you've noticed me flipping around this piece of white paper I've just pulled out of my secret pocket, it's got some notes from the day. I also drove up to Rachelle to get a video uplink from after our live piece. And there at the fuel station, I started asking around, and this was the Area 51 alien fuel station. Yeah, lots of interesting paraphernalia around there, celebrating aliens, letting us know they're there, wanting to contact the aliens. And then I realized one of the theories about the lunar crater is not that it's a lunar crater, it's that that's where the alien spacecraft crashed.
Okay.
That's where it crashed into the ground.
Okay.
And then from there emanated the little green people that supposedly are still living in some little secret town near us here in Area 51.
Okay.
And as it's getting dark and I'm seeing Venus there in conjunction with the crescent moon, it all kind of feels a little bit interesting here so near to Area 51. What do you think?
I'm thinking that's why the wind is so horrible every time we start the live show.
It's an alien spacecraft.
It's an alien spacecraft.
Get out of here. This is our space.
Yeah. All right. You can see there's some teams fueling up from the day. We have an amazing fuel crew. You got to think about, we're in the middle of nowhere. We don't have gas stations. And this fuel truck in particular, follows us throughout the base camp. On very long transit days, they may even refuel midday for some of those teams.
With our crew, we got 52 teams and then a whole lot of support vehicles and crew vehicles as well that they're maintaining and keeping going out here. So Mr. Busby did tell me a bit about having to go get some extra fuel before we land at Base Camp 2 tomorrow night. Let's see, I have a couple of other notes here. I had a quick chat with Johanna and Susie, and I said, well, of course you've been able to take the Defender 90 off-road a bit before you came here. And she said, nope. You remember that chip shortage and inventory shortage? She was like, we just got it last week, and we threw some stickers on it, outfitted it, and here it is. So today, being a pretty challenging off-road day, was their first off-road day in the Defender. That didn't seem to be a problem for it, though. It did really well.
Awesome. All right, and just a reminder, where you can watch us, you can go to Rebelle Rally for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can follow all of our updates there. You can also do rebellerally.com/live, and there you'll get the live show. You can actually subscribe to that channel on YouTube as well, so you are notified every time a new video comes up.
Would you like me to continue with my random poorly scribbled notes here? I've got a couple more. So speaking to Sabrina and Alyssa, it was at checkpoint 5X. It was an X checkpoint where all the crossovers got kind of hung up together. So if you were watching the tracker today and you saw a lineup of the crossovers, that's where it was, where everyone got hung up and had their 10 set of Max Tracks trail out. I chatted briefly with Laura and Maria, Laura Wineless and Maria Guittari in 188. They were just super thumbs up, and they're in a 4x... You know what? They're in a diesel Jeep. They're not in a 4xe. But they had a great day. Loved the off-road challenge. Absolutely loved it. That's what they went on and on about. So that was cool. And then I heard, and I went and checked on car 219 because I heard they were missing an eye. Did you hear about that?
I did not hear about this.
Yeah, they were missing an eye, and I thought, wow, well, I see them over there. Let me go check on them. I drove up to them, and I saw two healthy people walking around, and literally they stopped short of base camp to put on a new graphic, and they couldn't find the eye. So you'll see one of their graphics is missing an eye. Not a big deal after all.
Awesome. All right, so what does the rest of the week look like? So tomorrow is actually going to be our first transit day to Base Camp 2. And then here you see also the Rebelle Rally Live broadcast schedule. We are at the finish line today of Stage 1. It's Saturday, October 9th. Tomorrow you will see us very quickly in the morning, but that's going to be a quick hit as we need to pack down this base camp and head on down the road.
And I believe, are we going to do a midday hit of both of us out in the field tomorrow?
I hope so. I think that would be a lot of fun.
I think so, and I think you should be prepared to tune in because we're going to have a lot of fun with that one. And the night, actually the light balance of what you're watching there is better than what we see. It's dark where we see. So with that, as the cars finish coming in for the evening and everyone's headed towards their tents to get dressed for dinner, let's check out this commercial, and I'm going to see if we can quickly set up another interview.
This place tells a story through the color and through these formations that are completely unexpected. I started racing almost 2 decades ago, and the color of the desert Southwest is like nowhere else I've seen. It's so unbelievable. It's unforgettable.
Get lost without getting lost. When your adventure takes you off the beaten path, Iridium is there. Whether you're camping in the woods, hiking a mountain, or sailing the ocean, Iridium satellite communicators keep you connected regardless of weather conditions, terrain, or location. Built to be portable, rugged, and easy to use, Iridium and Iridium connected devices deliver peace of mind for you and your loved ones through real-time two-way voice calling, text messaging, photo sharing, social media, GPS, weather monitoring, and SOS, even in the most remote locations. Choose from a selection of products ranging from satellite phones to Bluetooth-enabled hotspots made by the brands you trust to call home, share the moment, or get help when needed. So, get out, take a hike, seize the day, but stay connected. Iridium, your world, our network.
Hi, I'm Justin from Wagan Tech, a company that's been in the Bay Area of California for over 37 years. As an automotive lifestyle company, we provide products that give you power, comfort, and convenience for the road ahead. Power means having a hot cup of coffee no matter where you are. Comfort is enjoying your trip. Convenience is having the tools you need when you need it. With Wagan Tech, you'll always be road ready.
All right, welcome back. I am so happy to share with you. We do have another interview set up from Team 116, Jen Brush. I've been practicing and I keep screwing it up. I apologize, Jen. Team 116, we heard on the radio early in the day, had a mechanical and called for help. And if you have a mechanical and call for help, it's a pretty big one. It means that you know you do not have the tools and the ability to fix it. So we've got Jen here to chat about that and
Sure.
tell us the story. So what happened? Where were you?
We were on the Enduro, and we kind of heard something, but I was convinced it was maybe some dirt and sand in the rotor, and we kind of pushed it and kept going, and all of a sudden the tire was inside the tire well, and it turned out the lower strut mount collapsed, and in turn sort of turned into a lathe and took out the axle. Fortunately, we had an axle.
So that was quite noisy while that was happening, right?
It was
a whole strut that holds the car up is now pushing down on the middle of the axle. You guys really thought you had a big rock in the brakes to keep driving with that racket. That's funny.
My first thought, and I was like, oh, we have a flat tire.
Ka-conk.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. But yeah, those guys and they came. We did have to call for help because that car was not going anywhere. So they came. They fixed what they could to get us to 5 miles an hour back to base camp, and then they refabricated that mount out of a Ritz box and cut it, welded it in, and we will be ready for tomorrow.
That's incredible. Now, what kind of Ritz? Are we talking about Ritz crackers?
Yes.
So they used
Cardboard.
it. They made a template
Yes.
out of the cardboard.
Yeah.
Okay. And
They're
then made some
amazing.
sort of metal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Just double checking here. And that is often a fabrication technique, cutting it out of cardboard and using that as a template. And so, and what I understand, it's not common to see a Porsche Cayenne on off-road suspension. And so the suspension you guys run is not traditional. It's not a very common thing for people to be able to buy, right?
No, you can't actually really get this off the market. It's specifically fabricated. So this is great. This is great for the manufacturer to be able to see ways that they can improve their product.
What fails? I mean, we've been telling the
Absolutely.
whole story of a testing ground,
Yeah.
a proving ground that is the
100%.
Rebelle Rally.
I'm kind of glad that we did it on the first day so that we can just get it out of the way and move on to bigger and better things.
I've got familiar experience in my competition. You know, when something bad happens and we just deal with it, it's kind of like you get that monkey off your shoulder. You're like, you think something bad's going to happen the whole event anyway as a competitor. When it just goes ahead and happens, you're
Right.
like, okay, we're fixed. We're rolling again. Cool. We're going to check out your car on the screen. It's car 116. That is car 209. No problem. Tracy teased me with having the right car on the screen.
That is a Porsche Cayenne.
This is
Not
part of a
bad,
live
but it
show.
was on there.
Yours is a 2006
It
Cayenne,
is.
correct?
Turbo S.
Turbo S. So you
Yeah.
got the juice.
We do. We got the juice.
Have you spent much time in the dunes?
We did training together at the end of April.
Okay.
And that was actually the first time Michelle and I met. So it was great for us
Cool.
to get to know. I actually have virtually the same car at home. So I was able to do a lot of my practicing in that car too. So
Very cool. That's one of my favorite things about being in the dunes is you can have really good four-wheel drive system and really big tires that you can deflate a lot and not much power. Or you could just have lots of horsepower, and that's always helpful. And that's what these ladies are going to be able to deploy when we get to some of our sandy areas. Well, Jen, I'm just so pleased that that our crack mechanic team has welded together
Amazing.
the strut mount.
yeah.
And,
And we
got you going
learned
again.
maybe airing down is a good thing.
with with time comes with experience comes a plan, and you can deploy that. We all learn with our different experiences like that. So
It's true.
Cool. Well, I wish you luck tomorrow.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming to join us and taking a
Awesome.
little bit of time out of your precious free time tonight.
Thank you.
I hope you'll go and enjoy some dinner.
Thanks.
All right.
Have
Thanks
a
for
good
joining
one.
us, Jen. Thank you. And we do see Jen's car on the screen there as we're swapping out. Thanks for that. These guys on the cameras, on the drones, and the B-roll, so cool. You're just talking too fast. All right, so we're looking at those storage boxes on the top of that Porsche. You can see that is not going to qualify for our bone stock class, is it?
No, and I believe they're in 4x4 class.
Yeah, it says the first ever Porsche Cayenne in the 4x4 class, and with that external tire mounts on the back and skid plate and lights in the front, big mounts on top, and custom suspension. Clearly not a bone stock vehicle. It looks like a riot to drive. It looks like a lot of fun, and I'm so pleased that they're welded back up and ready to continue tomorrow.
Oh, me too. That looks like an awesome drive. I really want to see this thing in Glamis.
So as far as I know, we're about to fold this deal up. What are we doing next here?
All right, so we have some exciting news for the competitors tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow's stage 2 is presented by Pirelli tires.
All right.
Yeah.
I've seen some Pirellis around here.
Yeah, there's a few on there. And the winners of tomorrow, just the stage 2, not the entire Rebelle Rally, but just tomorrow's stage 2, actually win a set of those tires.
The Pirelli Scorpion.
Yeah.
It looks great. I looked at the sidewall of it briefly because several cars are on them around here. The sidewall looks like it has some nice ribs of reinforcement that you usually see on an off-road tire. Visually, I wouldn't say I see anything that's different from one of the top performing tires. So we'll probably go a lot more tomorrow about Pirelli and some of the background for how that tire came to be.
Absolutely. So day 2 is going to be the first transit day. And day 2 in the morning is always a really big day for these Rebelles because they ease you in. You come after prologue, you set up your tent, and you don't have to pack it up for today, which was stage 1.
Yeah.
Which takes it's just another 15 minutes to your day that you don't have.
The logistics. Just
The
of like
logistics.
surviving. You got to get up, you got to plot.
Absolutely.
You got to eat.
Yep.
Got to do some sort of waking up before you do all that. And then you got to
Absolutely.
fold all your crap together and go throw it in the car, right?
Yes. So you got to...
Did you usually split those duties? Did Taylor do one thing and you do the other?
We did because she had so many checkpoints to plot. She always got up right on time, went and grabbed those CPs, started plotting, and then I would pack down the tent. So I'd fold up sleeping pads, sleeping bags, get everything ready, huck everything to the car. Not huck, huff. It was a jaunt.
It feels like we do it on purpose to just be like extra cruel or something because we park the cars far away from where the competitors sleep. It's not really, that is not the purpose. We do not want competitors working and monkeying around with their cars all night. We want them socializing, building, sometimes lifelong relationships with the other Rebelles, and having time to just decompress and leave the day behind, enjoy some nice food, get ready for bed.
Absolutely.
And then we, Emily walks around and bangs that cowbell around and wakes people up with the cowbell at what, 5:30 or something?
It's 5.
5. Yikes.
It's 5. More cowbell, please.
Oh,
we
man.
love it.
I would love to say I could compete in this and do well, but I don't think I would.
I would love to see that as well. You should team up with Chrissy and see how that goes. I think that would be the ultimate marriage tester. So tomorrow, then, you pack up your tent. You're plotting CPs, you're getting lunches, you're packing, and then you're moving down the road. The whole base camp operation, they're moving to a completely new base camp 2.
Tell me about it before we get off what the Rebelles are doing, like packing up and everything. How long did it take you to feel like you got in a groove with this? Rebelles, they're going to be sleeping in the tent the second night in a row. Obviously, nobody's going to be in a groove yet, but when did you feel like you'd be like, oh, I got this. I know where my stuff is. I know how I do this. When did you hit your stride?
Probably about... I'd say day 4 or 5, you kind of hit your stride. You realize all the stuff you brought that you don't need. So then next year, you try to come with half the stuff that you actually need.
I get that.
And each year, I just leave more and more stuff at home.
Nice.
That's the secret.
I feel like I hit my stride in past years around the time that I realized to myself, oh no, there's only 2 days left of this deal. I don't want there to be only 2 days left. I'm just now getting organized enough to really enjoy this whole deal. But there's a lot of scrambling around. And the whole crew, everyone here, there's 52 teams, 104 competitors. There's 115 crew to make this whole deal work. They're not all here. Some are at the next base camp. Some are in different places. We've got crew camping in base camp 3, making sure base camp 3 is ready to accept our massive tents and everything. And then moreover, our live crew, we are on our own rally. We've got our production trailer, our vehicles, our Lexus sponsorship, our Lexus vehicles, and we've got to hustle all of our own stuff together, make sure we get all of our equipment, the right stuff we're going to need for live and what we'll need later for tomorrow night. So you get the picture. Everyone out here sleeping in the dirt is on their own rally.
Absolutely. We're definitely on our own rally. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to continue to experience this side of the staff rally because it's
the first time for you.
It is the first time for me. It's really
cool.
fun. So just as a reminder where people can follow us, you can follow us on all the social channels, at Rebelle Rally, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the things. Also, rebellerally.com/live for all of your scoring updates, your tracking. Be sure to check out YB Races 2021 Rebelle to follow all of your teams because it's going to get interesting.
You can have the live scores right beside YB Races and be watching both and see the action unfolding, honestly, often better than we can see it out in the field.
Absolutely. And I know a lot of people, when I get home, they all say that it's a great distraction while they're at their desk.
I'm just going to go off script here. Tracy, are we doing a piece, Rachelle and I, tomorrow midday? Are we still doing that? Awesome. Great. We're going to be doing that together tomorrow.
So we are going to be live from the Stage 2 finish line tomorrow, Sunday, October 10th, 6 p.m. PDT. We should have service. This entire stage is presented by Pirelli. We are very excited about that. The teams, again, that stage winner for tomorrow is going to have an awesome surprise for them at the end of the day. So thank you, Pirelli. It is going to be an awesome stage 2. We cannot wait to see it.
Thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to Lexus for giving us some great vehicles to drive around on course. I believe we're about to wind it up here from the end of stage 1 of 2021 Rebelle. It's their 6th year banging around in the desert and keeping score here. Rachelle, such a pleasure to work with you. It's fun, and I just look forward to the rest of the week together.
Absolutely. Let's go have a rally tomorrow, Matt.
Awesome. We'll see you in the morning.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Hi, I'm Justin from Wagan Tech, a company that's been in the Bay Area of California for over 37 years. As an automotive lifestyle company, we provide products that give you power, comfort, and convenience for the road ahead. Power means having a hot cup of coffee no matter where you are. Comfort is enjoying your trip. Convenience is having the tools you need when you need it. With Wagan Tech, you'll always be road ready.